Today on Judge Faith, a dispute over who is the owner of a biting dog brings these neighbors to court.
The dog jumped on top of her on the road. She was on the ground, and the dog bit her on her hand, her right hand. I had to call the ambulance. We took her to the hospital.
This is her dog. She wanted to return the dog back to me when the dog had bit her child.
From everything I've heard today, I am concerned about you owning these dogs.
And later, he thought he'd finally sold his motorcycle, but he forgot to check the buyer's ID.
I took the money from that and...
You had
From
cash.
my nightstand.
So you just helped yourself to the cash.
Yeah, I had thought that perhaps I could sway his decision the other way once I had
After
bought
the
it.
purchase, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. That's your philosophy.
Plaintiff Bernadette Holness says her former tenant stopped paying rent and refuses to cover the costs of medical bills for injuries caused by his pit bull. She is accompanied in court by her neighbor, Carlene Williams. Defendant Tyree Rivera says the pit bull belonged to the plaintiff and he stopped paying rent because her house went into foreclosure. He's countersuing for illegal eviction and harassment. He is accompanied in court by his mother, Kim Rivera.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Holness versus Rivera.
Thank you, Barbara. Bernadette Holness?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant Tyree Rivera for $4,900 for unpaid rent and the cost regarding a dog bite and for pain and suffering.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Rivera, you are countersuing for an illegal eviction and harassment, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you have a witness with you today?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you Kim Rivera?
Yes, ma'am.
You're Tyree's mother?
Yes, I am.
And you have a witness as well?
Yes.
Carlene Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you are the plaintiff's neighbor.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can have a seat.
Thank you.
I understand from your complaint that the defendant actually lived with you for a time period. So is this a duplex?
Yes.
Okay, so in the bottom, the first floor of the duplex was a completely separate unit from the second.
Yes, ma'am.
So you had your own bathroom,
yes,
own
yes.
kitchen, everything upstairs?
Yes, two-bedroom apartment upstairs, yes.
Okay, and so downstairs, there's 2 bedrooms and also a separate bathroom and
Bathroom,
kitchen?
yes.
Okay, perfect. And so what happens after the defendant moves in?
One day I went away, I came back, I saw a dog greet me at my front door. And I asked him, whose dog is this? He said to me, it's his friend dog and he's only keeping him for the weekend. And another week later, there was 2 more pit bulls in the back of my house without my understanding.
My question is, did you bring 3 dogs to
Yes,
live
I had
in the
brought
room
3
with you?
dogs, but I spoke to her about it in her apartment upstairs.
There was an incident where you said one of the dogs bit someone, correct?
Yes, which is Carlene's daughter.
Can you step up, ma'am? Sure. What happened?
My other little daughter, which is 7, she ran to the house, started screaming and crying, and the dog was on top of my 9-year-old daughter. And
How did the dogs get out?
This is her dog. I gave a dog to her. She came downstairs. The dog name is Special. I have evidence right here. This is her dog. She wanted to return the dog back to me when the dog had bit her child. And I'm the one who came outside and asked her daughter if she was okay. She panicked to me, what I'm gonna do, Ty, what I'm gonna do. I said, it's nothing I could do. You left your dog outside. My dog was in the cage. It's proof right here that she took a puppy from me.
Yeah, Your Honor.
And the dogs is puppy. They not full-grown pits.
Okay,
they
so let's
they
get
puppies.
back to what happened to your daughter.
the dog jumped on top of her on the road. She was on the ground, and the dog bit her on her hand. And,
Was she okay?
She was okay, but she said it's not her dog, it's her tenant's dog.
Did you bring a video you wanted me to see in court today?
Yes, ma'am.
What is on the video I'm about to see?
Okay, Your Honor, that's me feeding the dog, and I did, tape that I was feeding the dog and the date. This is when he left a whole week. I kept those dogs alive because they live in filth. They're locked up in the cage, and my house is stink with poo, dog poo. I have to be constantly cleaning. It's very disgusting.
What do you have to say about that?
That is true, Your Honor, because even when I came to serve him the papers, when you walk through that front door, there's a door right here That's his room. The first door is his, and the next room is the other tenants. And the cage was right next to his with the 3 dogs in the cage.
This young lady in the with the daughter, okay? She called me. I'm like, who are you? She told me about the dog. I said, why are you calling me about this dog? This is Bernadette's dog. Bernadette called me a panicking at work. Oh, guess what? I left the gate open and the dog was out.
I've heard enough about the pit bulls.
Coming up on Judge Faith, Tyree gives another excuse in court, while Bernadette and Carlene attempt to explain their bad behavior on the block.
Coming downstairs, harassing me, knocking on my door. Our stuff was outside.
They weren't
on the
outside
snow.
yet. They had an argument at the door because I think she changed the lock on the door.
And Judge Faith lays down the law.
You agreed to pay rent, you have to pay the rent. People come in here, they come with all kinds of excuses as to why they don't have to pay rent. And I'm telling you, you have to pay rent.
And later, will his decision to take the money and run cost him in court?
When he came to purchase a bike, he said that he was going to Stanford University. I assumed, he was of age to ride.
I don't know, he looks pretty young. I would have asked his age.
I mean, I really wasn't pressed on, him being old enough, nor did I.
And he had $825 in cash.
Plaintiff Bernadette Holness says her former tenant stopped paying rent and refuses to cover the costs of medical bills for injuries caused by his pit bull. She is accompanied in court by her neighbor, Carlene Williams. Defendant Tyree Rivera says the pit bull belonged to the plaintiff, and he stopped paying rent because her house went into foreclosure. He's countersuing for illegal eviction and harassment. He is accompanied in court by his mother, Kim Rivera.
Let's get to the next part of your lawsuit, which you say is unpaid rent.
Yes,
now, you
ma'am.
admit in your answer that you stopped paying rent at some point. When
Yes.
was that?
In December.
When did you move out?
I moved out. When I moved out?
Okay. So after she did the illegal.
Ma'am, I just need the month
Okay.
and the year.
February. I'm gonna say
I have the
okay
date
after
right here.
January.
What
after-
month and year did he move out?
No, hold on.
He moved, Your Honor.
moved out in April, Your
In
Honor.
April, Your Honor.
Okay.
May.
April.
So from December of 2013 to April of
The last-
2014,
yes, the last
you
week in
lived there
April.
without paying rent.
That's a lie.
You agreed to pay rent, you have to pay the rent. People come in here, they come with all kinds of excuses as to why they don't have to pay rent. And I'm telling you, you have to pay rent. So from December to May, when you told me you finally officially moved out, you owe her rent for those months. What is your counterclaim about?
Illegal eviction and what's the other one?
The illegal eviction that's done. I read the papers about that. I understand exactly what happened. She moved her things out. The police were called. You moved them right back in. So there's no damage as a result. That wasn't illegal eviction. You cannot do that. But I'm just saying in terms of you suffering damages, because you moved your things right back in, you suffered no damages.
Your Honor.
Okay, you can have a seat for a second. Thank you. What is your counterclaim about her for harassment?
Coming downstairs, harassing me, knocking on my door. I'm using the bathroom. She'll be sitting there
You know
right.
what? You need to get your own place then.
She'll be.
You need
It
to get
is
your
my
own
own
place.
place.
No,
It is
you're
my
a
own
roommate.
place.
You are a roommate. You moved
But
into
she
a
live
room.
upstairs though. I'm
Sir,
got the downstairs.
what I'm telling you is, let me explain something to you. If you don't like the rules where you live, then you move or you get your own place. It's quite simple.
Can
Okay, and
can
what
I
happened
say
with the
something?
dog? You said there's something about somebody spreading dog, something on a car.
Over
What happened
my
with that?
boyfriend's car, yes.
Okay.
Terry came in from work and they had an argument at the door because I think she changed the lock on the door.
No,
Bernadette changed the lock on the door.
My stuff was outside.
They weren't
on the
outside
snow.
yet. They weren't
On the
outside
snow.
yet.
Stop interrupting. What happened? Specifically, what did you see?
His girlfriend with a dog poop in the bag and they started
she
wiping
did
it.
it.
What? Yes, wiping the poop over his
did it.
car, over my boyfriend's car.
Yeah, she did
Yes.
it. You know why? Because she threw my daughter's stuff out. My plate came. Let me talk.
So what I'm looking at here are three pretty disgusting photos of basically dog feces spread all over someone's car.
Which is her
My boyfriend's car.
Kevin.
Her boyfriend's car,
Your Honor.
and you say that your girlfriend did it. My ruling in this case is for the plaintiff. in the amount of $4,485. That's $3,600 in back rent, which you admit to owing. You come up with all kinds of excuses as to why you didn't pay. None of them are good enough. You also are going to pay the $820 in hospital bills based on the testimony I heard today. I credit the plaintiff's testimony that these were your dogs. Let me say a few things about this case. You know, sometimes when people come into court, they may not have absolute proof, and I have to listen to both sides, and I have to make a judgment call sometimes. And from everything I've heard today, I am concerned about you owning these dogs. And this is just my impression. I'm telling you my impression. So my judgment is for the plaintiff, $4,485.
Plaintiff Tim Fraker says the defendant sold his underage son a high-speed motorcycle without parental consent. He is suing for the cost of the motorcycle. He is accompanied in court by his son, Tyler Fraker. Defendant Dale Mosick says he thought Tyler was of age, and he sold him the bike with a no money-back agreement. He is countersuing for lost wages.
Tim Fraker and Tyler Fraker?
Yes, ma'am.
You were suing the defendant Dale Mosick for $825, the cost of an illegal sale of a motorcycle, illegal according to you, yes. Correct? And you are countersuing for $200 for lost wages?
Correct.
Why don't we start with you? Tell me what happened here. How do you know the defendant?
I was looking online for a new motorcycle, and I came across the defendant's ad, and I had contacted him about it.
Was it on Craigslist?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And I had texted him about it, and I had showed the ad to my father, and he had...
What did you say when you saw the ad?
Absolutely no way.
Okay.
The motorcycle had been crashed, and it was a fast motorcycle. He's 17, you know, and I don't want him on a 160-mile-an-hour motorcycle.
And he was only 17 at the time?
Yes.
And so after he told you that, what did you do?
Well, I pleaded and begged and wanted to get it, and so I waited until he had went up to the lake after we had sold an older motorcycle that I had just had, and I took the money from that and texted.
You took the money from where?
From the previous motorcycle we had sold.
Okay, and so you had
From
cash.
my nightstand, yeah.
Okay.
I sold the motorcycle, I put it there, then I went to the lake.
So you just helped yourself to the cash?
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Not a good move, right?
No, not
I mean,
the smartest
so you were going to
decision.
go buy the motorcycle. You do know that your dad would eventually realize, like, you bought a motorcycle, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I had thought that perhaps I could sway his decision the other way once I had
After
bought
the purchase, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. That's your philosophy?
All
right.
That was the thought process behind
So what
it, I
happened?
guess.
So he called you. What happened?
Correct. He called me. We did all the communication via text message. He met me at my house on a Saturday, and we proceeded to look at the bike.
What date was this? Do you remember?
This was July 26th
Of this year?
of 2014.
Okay.
We looked at the bike together. He came to my house. He test rode the bike. He had all of his motorcycle equipment, helmet, jacket, and gloves and everything. So I assumed, he was of age to ride.
Did you ask him how old he was?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Just on the fact that he had all that stuff, he said that he had his endorsement. So, I mean, I really wasn't pressed on, him being old enough, nor did I.
And he had $825 in cash.
Next on Judge Faith.
Well, there was a bag of parts in his truck for a motorcycle that we don't have. It just didn't add up. That money was gone, so I was pretty sure I knew what happened. Monday, about noon, I figured it out.
So I don't have to tell you how it's not a good idea to steal $825 from your parents, right?
I think I got that.
Okay, you got it? All right, so we're good on that.
Plaintiff Tim Fraker says the defendant broke the law when he sold his 17-year-old son a motorcycle without parental approval. He is suing for the cost of the motorcycle. He is accompanied in court by his son, Tyler Fraker. Defendant Dale Mosick says he sold the bike as is, and it's not his fault the plaintiff can't control his teenage son.
What happened when you found out he purchased this motorcycle?
Well, we were at the lake Saturday and Sunday. He came up Sunday, didn't say a word. Monday.
Was he riding the motorcycle as if you would notice?
He came up in the car with another friend. So we took the boys skiing and that kind of thing. Sunday, never mentioned a thing. Monday, about noon, I figured it out. And
how did you figure it out?
Well, there was a bag of parts in his truck for a motorcycle that we don't have. His truck was in the driveway, everything else, so it just didn't add up. That money was gone. So I was pretty sure I knew what happened.
And so did you have a conversation with him about that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And did you, so I don't have to tell you how it's not a good idea to steal $825 from your parents, right?
I think I got that.
Okay, you got it? All right, so we're good on that. So you call the defendant and tell him, hey, my son is 17 years old. You need my permission. He needed my permission to buy this motorcycle.
Yes, ma'am. And I know that Tyler had signed the title. And in fact, he gave him the title unnotarized. They both just kind of, in fact, I've got it here. They just filled it out and gave it to Tyler, and he took his money and sent him away.
Okay, so you call him and tell him my son is 17. He's not authorized to buy this motorcycle unless he has my signature and it's notarized.
Correct.
And what's your response to that?
Well, to that, when he came to purchase the bike, he said that he was going to Stanford University and that, I assumed that he was of age.
I don't know. He looks pretty young. I would have asked his age. You also wrote in your answer, well, what if he blew the engine? Because at this point, I think you're getting the motorcycle back and he's going to get the money back, right? And so you were concerned about one of the reasons you told the plaintiff was that what if he blew the engine? What if he messed up my bike?
Right.
Like, why should I accept it?
He took the bike off my property. I mean, there's got to be something that says when you take it, you take it.
Well, no, there is. There's the law of as-is sales. And if he was 18 and we were here, I would say, too bad, so sad, buyer beware. He has the bike, it's his, but he's not 18, so that doesn't apply to him. You're from Ohio, right?
Correct.
So the law in Ohio is pretty crystal clear about this. The law is you have to be competent to enter into a contract, and the law doesn't consider young people who are under the age of 18 legally competent to enter into binding contracts. And so when they do that on their own without their parents, if they don't want to go through the contract, they can rescind it if they want to.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
So, I mean, you really don't have a defense here because in order for this sale to have been a valid sale, you needed his father's signature, and it had to be notarized. And you don't have either of those things, right?
No.
What's your counterclaim about?
I'm countersuing for lost wages for a day's worth of work to be here and this inconvenience on me and also my family.
First, your $200 counterclaim, you don't get lost wages because you have to come to court and defend a lawsuit. The law is pretty clear. It's on DMV's website even for Ohio, so you could have gone on the website yourself and did a quick Google search to find this out. And so you don't get lost wages for coming to court. I think that you just didn't want to return the cash. I understand cash is king. You have the money. You wanted to sell the bike. It's gone. But unfortunately, you sold it to someone who wasn't of age, and his father does not approve of him having the bike.
He previously owned a motorcycle. That's where he got the cash from.
But he doesn't want to own this
16?
motorcycle. He doesn't have to give us a reason. He doesn't have to tell us why. He does not want his son owning this particular motorcycle. Based on the law in your state, it's clear here that the sale can be voided, and it will. So I'm ordering you to return the motorcycle back to him, and I'm ordering you to return the $825 that he paid you for the motorcycle. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. Counterclaims dismissed.
Thank you.
He was head over heels with his drinking and gambling bride.
I loved her as my wife. She drank a fifth of alcohol a day. She was doing a lot of gambling at the time.
But when their so-called marriage went on the rocks, the only signature was on an unpaid car loan.
We kind of forget the part that we was married.
If he was gonna be my caregiver, he didn't have no car.
So you needed someone to drive you around to different appointments.
Now, Judge Faith has to separate genuine intentions from just taking advantage.
So you're saying that he told you that story about helping take care of you and getting the car, and as soon as he got it, everything changed.
Right.
What do you have to say?
Plaintiff Maureen Sweeney says she took out a car loan for her ex-boyfriend while she was recovering from a stroke. She's suing for a $5,000 unpaid loan. Defendant Edward Dabney claims his ex gambled the money away, and he already paid back what he owed.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Sweeney versus Dabney.
Thank you, Barbara. Maureen Sweeney?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Edward Dabney, for $5,000 for an unpaid loan for a car?
Yes.
And I understand that you and Mr. Dabney used to be in a relationship?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we start from the beginning and you tell me how you met Mr. Dabney?
I met Mr. Dabney back in the late 90s, early 2000. He was driving a cab. I was just getting off work. It started raining. So I just happened to flag down the cab, and he was the one. Well, in the meantime, both of us was in the cab talking, and we exchanged numbers. And so after that, we talked, and we went out to dinner and stuff. So everything was fine.
That must have been one heck of a cab ride.
So, like I say, we dated. And after the third year, he had asked me why not move into his place with him and his son. And I said, sure, fine.
So after 3 years of dating, after meeting in the taxi, you moved in together?
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't know I had a heart problem. So I went to work one day and I collapsed in the bathroom. So they called paramedics and all of that. They revived me. On the way to the hospital again, I flatlined. So as soon as I got to the hospital, they put me in a coma to see how much brain damage I had.
So what was the problem?
I ended up having a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
I lost a little oxygen to my brain.
Were you there? Were you at the hospital with her?
Yes.
Okay.
It messed up my motor skills. So they end up taking me to a rehab so I could learn how to write again and walk again.
Let me just hear some background from you about the relationship you had with Miss Sweeney.
This is very interesting. What's so interesting about it, like, she kind of forget the part that we was married. I'm like, she forgot that part.
Oh, the two of you were married, ma'am?
We were never married. He never got the license.
Well, hold on a second. Why do you say you were married?
We was married because we had a ceremony. We had everything. 10 grooms. We had 10 grooms, 10 brides.
There was
10
no
bridesmaids.
papers ever signed.
We have everything considered marriage, but some kind of way, the papers all of a sudden did get signed. Okay, that's a coincidence. She didn't mention that.
Oh, so you still think you're married?
Life. When she was flatlined at the hospital, they told me no hope, I saved her life. Okay, I kept her not pulling the plug.
How?
Because the doctor came and says, I don't think there's no hope. We need to make a decision right now. I said, no, keep her alive. Keep her alive. You know, because the only person can make that decision would be a husband. No boyfriend can't make that decision. A husband can make that decision. I submitted some papers. We'll start this off. I submitted some papers to the courts. Look at them.
Ma'am, what do you have to say about this? Hold on a second. Did the two of you have a wedding ceremony?
We had a wedding ceremony.
Oh, now she appears mentioning that.
The papers were never signed.
Okay, but just back up for a second. So, but you had every intention on being married, you're saying, and what happened with the papers?
You know what? What had happened was his side of the family was making a big commotion. Plus, it was people that was...
What year was this?
That was in...
Bet she don't even know.
Do you remember what year it was, sir?
Yeah, I remember what year it was.
What year?
It was 2006.
Okay, so just explain to me. So in 2006, you have a wedding ceremony. You think you're married.
Yes.
When did you say you found out the paperwork wasn't signed?
No, he told me one day me and him had an argument.
When was that?
I can't remember when it was.
Do you remember?
Yes, I remember, because it never happened. I never told her that. So I went to the courts and found out it wasn't.
When did you find out?
About 4 years later.
2010, you find out that the papers were never signed.
Exactly.
And so you thought you were married all that time, ma'am?
Like I said, we had an argument.
Your Honor, she didn't thought
and
nothing.
he sat up there and said, well, you know we're not married. And so it was like that right there, it hurted me bad.
Coming up, did good times lead to big troubles?
And we just started having major problems. She started just being very violent, fighting with me.
The little boy told me, yeah, we should have pulled the plug on you.
Did your 6-year-old overhear you saying something about pulling the plug on her?
Plaintiff Maureen Sweeney says her ex-lover owes her for a car loan. Defendant Edward Dabney says he made payments all along and owes nothing.
How did you find out that this marriage wasn't actually legit?
She told me that. She told me the papers wasn't signed. And I said, what? I said,
Let me
okay,
see the photos you submitted to the court.
He's the one that planned the whole marriage.
Okay, are these wedding photos or honeymoon photos or?
That's just a vacation we
That's
went
a vacation we went on after we got married.
Okay.
Look at the ring.
And there is
See
a
the
ring.
rings?
I see the ring.
See the rings on there? Oh, we so happy. We are just so happy. That's a happy couple. Look
Next
at that.
photo.
That's just one picture. Look at the other picture. Oh, that's when we was dating.
So what happened? So let's go back to, you say you were in the hospital and that's when the problem started after you got out of the hospital.
When I got out of the hospital, he was telling everybody, don't pick me up, don't take me nowhere. He would be the one to do it.
Because you needed somebody to drive you around at that time.
And I said, you know what, you're playing with my health. The thing about, you're married. And then he'd turn around and say, you know we're not really married. Why don't you just go on and get out of here? You know? So a lot of that just kept building and building.
So there were just a bunch of things that built up over time.
Built up.
And after you got out of the hospital, it was just not working out for you.
It wasn't. And like I said, I had a heart problem. I didn't need no more stress on me.
So that's when you decide to leave.
That's when I decided to get what I can and leave.
And what do you say happened?
That's not true. When she wanted to get out the hospital, she was not supposed to get out from the rehab at that time. She wanted to get out because she wanted to go drink. The reason why she had a heart problem because she stayed drunk all the time, Your Honor. She drank a fifth of alcohol a day. A fifth. I'm not lying. God take me away from me right now. She drank a fifth of alcohol a day. And can drink it, it won't be drunk. And can really drink it.
Were you drinking a fifth of alcohol?
And then she wanted to get home. She wanted to come home so quick.
Did you have a drinking problem, or do
No. I would come home
Your
and I'd have maybe
Your Honor,
2 or 3 drinks.
Lord, you can
But
call
you know what?
anybody in the...
I was able to come home, clean up a house, take care of the 3 kids that he had custody of.
But you were drinking every day?
I was drinking every day.
Okay, but you don't call that a drinking problem.
I still went to work every day.
Okay, okay. Okay, go ahead,
Your
sir.
Honor, she had a major drinking problem. Major drinking problem. It's destroyed our whole relationship. She gets to the rehab place. She want to leave earlier than they supposed to let her leave. So we had a lot of commotion with they letting her stay, and also will let her stay so she can really think about it. And the doctors and social workers can come in and talk to her and, you know, try to encourage her to stay. No, she wanted to come home and drink.
So what was the reason the two of you split up?
Because her major drinking and we just started having a major problem. She just started just being very violent, want to be fighting, you know, fighting with me.
So let me ask you a question, Ms. Sweeney. Did he talk to you? Did your family members talk to you about your drinking?
No.
They never talked to you about that? Never had a conversation?
No. And I'm gonna tell you.
Do you still drink every day now?
No, I don't drink.
When did you stop drinking?
I stopped drinking in 2010.
So the two of you, things didn't work out, you move out.
Right.
But you're suing today for $5,000 you say you loaned to Mr. Dabney.
Right.
So
and
why don't you tell me about that?
promissory letter. He had said, okay, if you move back down here,
where were you at the time?
I had moved back to San Francisco.
Okay, and you were still in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I said, well, when I move back down there, I'm not moving with you. I'll move into my own place.
Why did he want you to move back to Sacramento?
Because he was going to be my in-home care person. If he was going to be my caregiver, he didn't have no car.
So it sounds like the car was for both of your use.
Right.
Okay, so then you do what?
So what ended up happening is the kids that he was taking care of, I helped raise them, but the little boy had a mouth on him. And while he went into the store one day, the little boy told me, yeah, we should have pulled the plug on you. So
How old is this kid?
He was only about 6 or 7, so he would have had to hear it from an adult.
Wow.
You know.
Well, let me ask you, did your 6-year-old overhear you saying something about pulling the plug on her?
He might have heard me say something like that.
Why would you say something like that?
No, not saying like what you said, saying that they wanted to pull the plug,
Okay.
and I told them no or something.
Okay.
I wouldn't say no, I would never do nothing to hurt her. I loved her. I loved her as my wife. I loved her. I would never do nothing to hurt her. Second, first, so I had a car. My car was just broke at the time.
And you still love her today?
Yes, I loved her to death.
If he loved me.
I loved her to death.
What about now?
And I still love her.
Yeah.
I still love her.
He loved me so
I love
much.
her, but I couldn't deal with the vodka and all that, just being mean to my kids. I just couldn't deal with it. Then she started just want to be mean to me and I always walk around with a frown.
This is
okay,
a
you
man.
don't need to walk around with a frown, baby. You do not need to walk around with a frown at all.
Coming up, when he got the car, did he lose the love?
She said, let's get a car.
Once he got the car, he didn't want to be bothered with me no longer.
Plaintiff Maureen Sweeney says her ex-lover owes money for a car loan. Defendant Edward Dabney says he already paid her back and owes nothing.
It was just so much with the vodka and all that, I just couldn't take it no
Well,
more.
tell me the conversation, though, about the $5,000.
Okay, I don't know what she done with $5,000. It was $2,500. She said, let's get a car, and she loaned me the $2,500. Okay, that was fine.
But you have a promissory note, ma'am? May I see it?
Yeah, I was gonna go half with her on the car, and she was gonna go half with me for us to get back and forth to doctors, to school, or whatever. But we needed a bigger car. Okay, and that was fine. But she told me, I remember she told me, well, you sign this paper or something, and I give you the $2,500. But I don't remember.
No, it says $5,000.
Okay, I don't know.
Actually.
I don't know if that's.
Can
Can I see it?
Yes, you can. Who wrote this?
He did.
Let me see. I wrote it on a brown paper bag.
No.
So I don't know what that is. I wrote on a brown paper bag, Your Honor. Yep.
You wrote that?
Yeah. Might just look like my signature, but I don't see what says 1,000 plus 5,000.
No, it says $5,000. I, Edward Dabney, owe Maureen Sweeney $5,000, which will be paid by September 2011.
Okay, I don't know how. I don't know. It wasn't for. She just didn't give me $5,000 for the car. She gave me $2,500, and you might have put that on there because she was doing a lot of gambling at the time too, because she had a big settlement. So she said, "You help me pay some of this money back," and I told her I will.
Did you give him $5,000 cash?
Yes, it's on my bank statement.
Well, it says you withdrew $5,000.
Exactly.
And I gave him the $5,000.
And you say you owed her $5,000. So why do you say you didn't receive $5,000?
Okay, I didn't receive $5,000 from you.
Or you gave him the entire full amount, ma'am?
No. I did not receive $5,000 from you.
So tell me what happens. You give him money, what happens?
What ended up happening, once he got the car, he didn't want to be bothered with me no longer.
Oh, you were still in San Francisco?
No, I was still in Sacramento. So what ended up happening was, the day I was getting ready to move back home, me and him got on the phone, and I said, okay, what about the money that you owe me? And he
Well, what do you mean by after he got the car, he didn't want to be bothered with you?
He didn't want to have nothing to do. He got his car, so he ain't got to come take me nowhere. It's just like, I don't
So
have
you're
to-
saying that he sold you that story about helping take care of you and getting the car, and as soon as he got it, everything changed.
Right.
What do you have to say?
After all these years, come on now. We was married all these years. She didn't give me no $5,000 on top of that. She gave me $2,500. Now, if I can recall, the other part was when we gambling, because she had, like I said, got a settlement, and we was gambling, and she said, help me, give me some of this money back. And I told her, fine, I will. We're still together, Your Honor. We gave each other money all the time. I gave her money all the time.
He's using
all the
me.
time, Your Honor. Now, just for a car, a used car, come on now.
Well, did you ever pay her back any of the money you promised to pay her?
I didn't write down no note, 'cause we were still together.
So you say you did give her money
Yes, I gave
back,
her back
did he?
money. Yes, I did, Your Honor.
He told me what he said was, the day that I was leaving to come back to San Francisco, he said, you know what? I won't even show up at court. Better yet, I'll pay you $5 a month. And I haven't even got that yet. I sent him a letter.
She never sent me nothing, Your
I
Honor.
sent him a letter certified The letter was never opened. I have the letter where you can see it was never tore up.
Where's the car?
The car you got to go bring back to the place. Couldn't afford it no more.
What happened? So you got the car in 2011?
We got the car with us together, yeah.
And you were paying the car notes?
Paying the car notes.
Did you stop paying the notes?
Yeah,
Okay.
I couldn't afford to pay it no more.
If she gave you $2,500, why didn't you pay any of that back?
We were still together, you know. I was giving her money then.
Sir.
After the 4 years?
Okay, let me tell you something. This is not the courtroom of when people are still together.
Yeah.
This is a courtroom is about evidence.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have a note that you say you wrote out saying that you owe this money.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Clearly, you all had every intention on marrying, went through with the ceremony and everything, and it appeared there was some kind of glitch with the paperwork. You've testified today about Miss Sweeney's habits with her drinking and the issues, and I think he's told some truth about that, ma'am. And I know you've denied everything that he said, but I believe him about your drinking and some of those issues that you were having. And so it kind of leads me to believe that there was an issue with this money. I'm not sure he actually received the full $5,000. He said he only received $2,500, and the other part was used for gambling. The fact is, I'm not 100% sure because there's so many different moving parts to this story, but what he does admit, he admits to owing you $2,500. I just have the impression sometimes when I sit here and I do this, I have to make a judgment call based on the people who are standing in front of me and the impressions that you're making and the credibility that I think you have based on your testimony. And for some reason, I think if he really believed he owed you $5,000 and that you gave him $5,000, I think he'd say it. Based on all of that, I'm going to order you, sir, to pay her $2,500, half of this amount. I am not 100% convinced that you actually gave him the full $5,000 despite him signing this note. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff, $2,500. Good luck.
This mother loans her daughter money to buy a car, and 7 years later,
There's something you're not telling me about this check and this story.
When I get out the car, he told me I had a warrant, a bench warrant for my arrest. Well, I was staying in jail all night. I have 2 young other kids that see their mama get put in the police car.
She bought my sister a car, she had bought my brothers a car, and I didn't understand why did I have to pay her back.
She just the only one got a brand new car.
I don't know of a parent who hasn't had a disrespectful teenager or a child. She's 30 years old. She's a mother with 3 kids. And you punch her in her face?
plaintiff Natalie Ravel says she loaned her daughter $3,000 to buy a car, and now she won't pay her back. Defendant Kaniqua Tisha Whiteside says she doesn't owe because her mother bought cars for her other siblings. She is countersuing for medical bills incurred after she and her mother had a confrontation.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Ravel versus Whiteside.
Thank you, Barbara. Natalie Ravel?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing the defendant, Kaniqua Whiteside?
Yes, ma'am.
For $4,500 for a loan and bail fees?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are countersuing for $1,000 for hospital bills?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I understand. Is Miss Whiteside your daughter, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, she is.
Okay. So why don't we start from the beginning and you tell me what's going on here?
Well, I was 15 when I had Kaniqua. I can't change the fact, I had at 15.
Right.
But I worked, did everything I could for her. I always have, for her, her husband, and her three daughters. Anything to help her, I will. And
how old are you now?
30.
30 years old? So what has your relationship been like with her over the last
It's been
several
rocky.
years?
I don't know why. I love her, but up and down, I guess because I was so young in age, and she's very close to me in age. A lot of disrespect growing up, and my parents didn't allow that, and I didn't either, but I've done everything in my power to make her happy.
What do you mean by the relationship became rocky over the last several years?
Well, just being, you know, typical teenage, disrespectful. She lived with my parents, and, you know, if I say something, you know, grandparents gonna go behind you. But I'm still your mom.
What do you say, Miss Whiteside? How would you describe the relationship with your mother prior to this incident and this lawsuit?
My mom, she has always treated me differently. I don't know if it's because our age or what the case may be, but I stayed with my grandparents.
That's not true.
Her other kids stayed with her.
When you say you stayed with your grandparents, were you living in the same city as your mom?
At first I was, and then my mom, she moved to Columbia, and she then moved to Kansas City, Missouri. And I was like 16, and my grandparents sent me out there to stay with her for like a year. But from birth to 15, I stayed with my grandparents.
Okay.
So they raised me, and I feel that she always have treated me different. And she bought my sister a car, she had bought my brothers a car, and I didn't understand why did I have to pay her back. They didn't pay her back.
And so you have other siblings that you say spent all of those years living in the house with your mom, but you lived with your grandparents?
Yes, ma'am, my 2 brothers and my sister.
Okay, are they older or younger than you?
They're younger than me, I'm the oldest.
Whenever you left, she stayed with
Correct.
your parents,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you had other kids who stayed with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And when I lived in Kansas City with her, I ran away because I just felt like I was being mistreated. Like, me and my sister shared a room, and my sister didn't want to share a room with me anymore, so my mom moved me into the computer room. And it's like, whatever my brothers and sisters wanted, they got, but I had to work for it. I had to, she cleaned military houses, and I would have to go with her and clean the houses, but they could just ask for it and get it.
Do you think that you made a difference between your kids, or do you not have any idea what she's talking about?
I've never made a difference with any of them. Her and my daughter helped me clean those houses, and they were paid equally.
Are you surprised to hear what she's saying today?
No, she always say that. I went back to South Carolina to get her because her grade, she was in the 9th grade at 16, because my mom, grandparents just letting her do what she wanted to do. I flew, got my daughter, brought her back. Within 9 months, she went from the 9th grade to 11th grader. I was harder on her, yes, because I wanted her to succeed.
Coming up.
I'm a nurse. Can I have anything on my record? My daughter that I co-signed for, gave this money to, told me a lie, and I'm in jail.
Someone writes out a $3,000 check and it's not a good check. Based on my experience, they're going to try to find you, and they're going to try to find you. 7 years.
And they never served me anything.
You were never contacted about it?
No, ma'am. She still had the car. I'm thinking everything is fine.
Plaintiff Natalie Revelle says the check she wrote landed her in jail when her daughter refused to pay a loan back. She's suing for the unpaid loan and other expenses. Defendant Kaniqua Tisha Whiteside says she doesn't owe the money and is countersuing for medical bills after her mother hit her.
So back in 2006, you're working, you want to buy a car, and you don't have the money for a down payment. So you have a conversation with your mother about it. Based on what I've read, the two of you have very different stories about this $3,000. So I want to hear what you say happened first, and then I'll hear from you.
Okay. Well, she called me. First, she asked me to co-sign for the car. I told her I wasn't, I wasn't going to co-sign, but I would help her. When I get to the dealership, she had to put down $3,000 because her credit wasn't good enough. I said, Tisha, Kaniqua, I call her Tisha by her middle name.
Okay.
But I told Kaniqua, I said, I will write a check, and I told the dealer, only if y'all hold it for 45 days. I said, but you gotta pay me back or pay this check off. She said, I'm waiting on my taxes, I will pay it back.
So you write a $3,000 check to the dealership. You know you don't have that money in your account.
No.
But you write it to the dealership, and they're supposed to hold it for 45 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Until she brings them cash?
Yes, ma'am. That's how they do on a down payment in South Carolina. And if she wasn't to bring the money back,
Who told you the dealership that was the agreement with the dealership? Who told you that?
The dealer. And they allowed it.
Was she physically at the dealership with you?
She was with me.
And she wrote a check and gave it to the dealership for $3,000?
Yes. And they was gonna take the money out of her account, and I was supposed to pay her back, not the dealership, but her back. And I agreed to pay her back.
So this whole issue with them holding the check for 45 days and used as collateral, do you know anything about that?
No.
So when she wrote the check out to the dealership,
You're lying.
they get... Stop. What do you say happened with the check?
Well, she was riding around with the car. 7 years later, I'm driving, go through a roadblock like a routine traffic stop. He took my license, registration, come back.
Police did?
The police officer. He said, Miss Revelle, can you step out the car? I said, for what? You know, what's wrong? I know everything is legit on my car, you know, nothing. When I get out the car, he told me I had a warrant, a bench warrant for my arrest. I said, for what? I don't do anything. And because I'm a nurse, I don't do anything. When he put me in the car, he said I could call someone to come get my car so they wouldn't have to put it in pound. I called my daughter.
So they arrest you, they take you down to the station, and they tell you it's because of that check you wrote to the dealership back in 2006.
They served me the warrant at that time. He served me the warrant. When I looked at it, I knew exactly what it was. They gave me 2 hours to get a bondsman, or I would stay in jail all night. Mind you, I'm a nurse. Can I have anything on my record? My daughter, that I co-signed, gave this money to, told me a lie, and I'm in jail. I have 2 young other kids that see their mama get put in the police car, okay? I go to court. I go in front of the judge. He made me get a bondsman. And they had to come and see me in an orange jumpsuit because they arrested me and put me in handcuffs. I'm dressed out like I'm a criminal, and I'm always preaching to them, don't go to jail. So
what happened with the check?
They attempted to cash it, and I had closed that account. So the warrant was for fraudulent check with criminal intent.
When was it closed?
Maybe 4 months later, because that was my husband and our joint account. So we switched bank.
They certainly know where to find her because the check was used to pay for the car that she's driving.
Correct.
So, someone writes out a $3,000 check and it's not a good check based on my experience, they're going to try to find you and they're going to try to find you. 7 years.
And they never served me anything.
You were never contacted about it?
No, ma'am. She still had the car.
Did anyone ever contact you?
No, ma'am.
When I went to her after
And the address on your check was the address you were living at the time?
No, ma'am, I had moved into another house, but I'm still in
when you wrote out
Greer.
the check, that address was your current address?
Yes, ma'am. When I went to Kaniqua, she insisted that it was paid. She told me, you lying. I paid it. That ain't why you went to jail. That's not true. We got into it really bad. I popped her. I did.
What do you mean by you popped her?
I knocked the fire out of her because she was being disrespectful. Mind you, I just get out of jail. You don't sit up here and have me arrested because you lied to me in my face and you're gonna tell me the police is lying about a $3,000 check that you said you was gonna take the money.
I didn't tell her I paid the check.
You lying.
So what
you
happened?
said you went down there and paid it.
Miss Revelle, she's not arrested because you're not paying her $3,000 back. She's arrested because they say the check was bad.
Right.
So I'm trying to understand, when she comes to you, does she say that to you?
No, she said, Tisha, you said you was gonna pay the check. You said you was gonna pay me back. The check bounced and I went to jail for it. So I told you I'm not paying you that money back. Like, you always have treated me different. And I'm tired of that. Like, no, you did for them, so you're gonna do for me. And that's just what it is. So she hit me in my eye. And that's why I'm kind of suing her, because I was out of work for like a week and a half from having a black eye. She bruised my orbit, like the top part of my eye. And like, when I woke up the next morning, my eye was closed shut. So I couldn't go to work like that because I work at a psychiatric facility.
Coming up, can this family relationship be salvaged?
If you had heard the things she was saying to me, she deserved it. And yes, I might have been wrong for punching her, but she provoked it.
Plaintiff Natalie Ravel is sorry that she hit her daughter, but still wants a $3,000 loan paid back, especially after the incident landed her behind bars. Defendant Kaniqua Tisha Whiteside says she won't pay back the loan and wants $1,000 for her hospital bill.
Here's what it sounds like happened to me. I think you wrote a check post-dated to the dealership. I think you were supposed to pay her the money and put it into her account before that check was supposed to be cashed.
Yes, ma'am.
And that didn't happen. And when no one ever called either one of you about it and so many years went on, I think you thought, oh, she's still driving the car, no one's contacted me about it, it's okay. You finally get stopped, you find out there's a bench warrant, you get put in jail, you go to her and you say, you were supposed to give me this money and it was supposed to be put in my account. If you had given me the money, like you said, that check wouldn't have been cashed on a closed account and we wouldn't be in this situation. That's what I think happened.
But
that's what I think happened. The second thing is, I have an issue with you hitting her in her face. Just because she is your mother, you do not have to let her beat you up. Do you understand? You don't have to let her put her hands on you, because that is not how you resolve conflict, by assaulting your own daughter and punching her in her eye, and so she can't even go to work for a week.
But she swung also.
That's not what you said.
She's very
I didn't swing.
disrespectful.
I tried to get her away from me.
She's
so
very
it may
disrespectful.
have looked like I was swinging, but I didn't hit her back.
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
I don't know of a parent who hasn't had a disrespectful teenager or a child. She is 30 years old. She's a mother with 3 kids. And you punch her in her face? You say you're a nurse and you don't want to go to jail, then I would suggest you stop punching your daughter, because she can call and have you arrested for assault, and I would. You wrote in your complaint, every time I think about getting arrested and possibly having a record, it makes me want to fight my daughter all over again. That's sad.
I don't know
What's your countersuit for?
$1,000.
For what?
My hospital bills.
You went to the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
She had hemorrhaging in her eye. Sounds like you delivered a knockout punch to her face, essentially. Just because she is your daughter, I don't care who it is, you can't assault people.
You're right.
If you don't think they're doing something right, you cannot proceed to assault them, because you're really going to have a record. You're really going to be arrested.
You're right.
You nearly broke her eye socket. And I don't understand that. Are the two of you on speaking terms now?
Not really. She get my kids every Friday, but usually we go through my sister, so. But no, not like we used to be, no. Like, it's just been ongoing problems ever since I was a teenager.
Tell her why, though.
Because it doesn't matter what I do, it's not enough for you.
That's not true. That's not true,
It's
Your Honor.
never enough.
Ever since she come, she told me before, you made me come to Missouri. This is what I told her. I made you come to Missouri because you're a felon in South Carolina. And your education means everything to me.
What it appears happened, and I just want you have to, something else, there's something you're not telling me about this check and this story. Because if there is a $3,000 bad check outstanding, someone's going to call you. It's a $3,000 check. They tried to cash that check on a closed account. Or they're going to take her car back. Did anyone ever take your car back?
Yes, my car got repossessed.
Because why? Because you weren't making payments?
And I called Mom and I asked her, well, they came and picked up my car. Noah paid the payment, so why did they come pick up my car? She said, I don't know, Tisha. I don't know what's going on with the car.
When was your car repossessed?
Like in 2008.
Okay, so they came and repossessed your car in 2008. Had you made all your payments?
I had.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
The agreement, I think, was between the two of you, that you would get your tax return money and put the money into her account so she would have money in her account. She already said when she wrote the check, she knew she didn't have the money.
No.
I think, stop. You told her that you would give her the money when you got your tax refund
I would give her the
back.
money. I wasn't supposed
and you
to
did
put
not
nothing
do
in
that.
her account.
And you
Right.
did not do that.
Right.
You told her you would, and you didn't. You are a nurse. A person who helps take care of other people. I need for her to be number one on your list of people you take care of. You love your daughter, right?
More than anything. Yes, ma'am, I do.
And you love your mom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is probably one of the saddest cases I've ever seen in my courtroom. Based on everything I've heard today in the testimony, however, I'm ordering you to pay your mother back the $3,000. You promised you would pay her. But I'm also ordering you, ma'am, to pay her $1,000 in medical bills that she sustained when you punched your daughter in her face. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $2,000. Good luck to both of you.